there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's crossdressing story. Today we are going to share a story called Petra's Shadow, A Boy Lost to the Night Part 2. By Teddy. For more interesting and exclusive stories, please subscribe to my channel and support me at Patreon. Samaritans, I'm Chris. How can I help you? You can't, nobody can, a voice said. I'm willing to try, if you'll let me. What can I call you? Sam, the voice replied. Hello, Sam, I'm Chris, she said. I'm going to kill myself, I said. Can we talk about it, Sam, she asked. So that you can call me a weirdo before you hang up. I won't do that. Why do you want to kill yourself? I have nothing to live for, I've no family, no friends, no job, no life. All I've got is pain, misery, and heartache, I replied. You've got me, she replied. And what can you do? I can be your friend, she said. Why? Because I'd like to, she replied. You are only saying that to stop me from killing myself, I said. No, I'm not, I can never have enough friends, she said. You won't want to be my friend, I sobbed. Why not? Because no one does, I answered. Can I meet you? She asked. Why do you want to do that? Because I want to be your friend and I can do that better by meeting you. She sounded sincere and really interested in me, so I told her where I was. See you in 15 minutes, now I want you to talk with Fred. That okay with you? She asked. I must have said yes because I was soon talking with Fred about nothing in particular. Less than 15 minutes had elapsed when Fred told me that Chris would be approaching me. Hello, Sam, a soft voice said. I turned and saw a beautiful young woman walking towards me. Chris? I asked. Yes, she said. Can we go somewhere warmer? Do you mind if I talk with Fred? She motioned me to her car and I handed her the phone. We're on our way in. Thanks, Fred, she said. She drove back to their office and I was shown into a private room. I dropped wearily into an armchair. Tea? She asked. I nodded and relished the comfort. I hadn't sat in anything like this for months. I must have looked a right mess. I hadn't had a proper wash for weeks. Hell, I hadn't done anything proper for ages. My hair was long and greasy and my clothes, I couldn't remember the last time I'd changed them, could stand up on their own. I wouldn't have recognized me. I'm sorry I look and smell like this, I said, when Chris came back in. I live in my car and there is no room for niceties. Why do you live in your car? She asked. It's a long story. I've got all night, she said. I sighed, took a sip of hot tea, savored the taste and began my story. After I'd lost my job, I couldn't afford anywhere to stay and without an address you can't sign on for unemployment benefit and things just went downhill from there. For the last few months I've been eating what I can find, wherever I could find it, even dustbins, I said, finishing my tale, having left nothing out. You poor thing, Chris said, tears running down her face. Look, come back to my place and get cleaned up, then I'll see about finding you somewhere to stay and you can start rebuilding your life. But you don't know me, I said. I know you are a human being and that you have the right to a wash and clean clothes. Look, I'm only offering you a bath. Thank you, I said with real humility. Chris went to check with her supervisor and, after a few minutes, she came back in, carrying her coat. Okay, Sam. Let's go and get you cleaned up. She lived in a nice part of town and her flat smelled nice, at least it did until I entered. She went into the bathroom and began filling the bath. She then fetched a black bin liner and told me to follow her into the bathroom. Take off all your clothes and put them in the bin liner. Then have a long soak, don't worry about your hair, we'll deal with that later, she said. She left the bathroom and I got undressed, following her suggestion. I climbed into the bath, the warm water felt good. I lay back and relaxed. Chris made me have 2 baths and I noticed that the water got progressively cleaner as my body gave up its ingrained dirt. Even my hands looked cleaner. After my second bath, I wrapped a towel around my waist and called for Chris. It was time to get my hair washed. This would also be a long process. It took 2 or 3 applications of shampoo and a lot of brushing before all of the tangles had been removed, with the worst knots being cut out. "Sam, do you want to become a woman?" she asked. I had told Chris about my dressing. I'd had to, it was the reason I was in this mess. "Chris, I'm not a woman trapped in a man's body, I'm a man trapped in men's clothing," I answered. "At least I think that's what I am." "Very deep," she said. "You know, you really have nice hair, when it's clean." "Thank you," I said. "Did you shave regularly?" she asked. "When?" I said. "When you were living in your car." "No," I said. "So how come you haven't got a beard?" "Hey, you haven't got any chest hair either." "I never thought about it," I replied. She led me to the guest bedroom. On the bed was a pile of clothes, all women's. "Haven't you got anything else?" I asked. "Sam," she laughed, "I thought you liked wearing our clothes, and anyway, in your emaciated state I am bigger than you." "Okay, Chris, thanks." "Look, do you think I could have a sleep? I don't know when I last slept on a bed." "Yes, why not?" "Promise you won't do anything silly," she said. "I promise." "There's some gym jams on the bed," Chris said, as she left the room. I picked up the cotton top and shorts and put them on. I lay back on the bed and was sound asleep in no time. I slowly woke up, I had no idea how long I had been out. I ventured in the living room. "Glad to see you are awake, you must be Sam," a woman said. "I am, but..." "June," she said. "One of Chris's friends. She's asleep at the moment, but I was asked to keep an eye on you." June saw my puzzled look. "You won't be left alone until we are happy that you have gotten over last night," she added. "Hungry?" "I've been hungry for months," I answered. "You'll have to be careful of how much you eat, at least for a while. Your stomach won't be used to eating large meals," she said. June went into the kitchen. "Tea or coffee?" she called. "Tea, please," I replied. "Can you make one for me as well?" Chris said, emerging from her bedroom. "Sleep well, Sam?" "Yes, I did, thanks," I answered. "And Chris?" "Yes." Chris said. "I want to thank you for saving my life last night. I had literally reached the end of the road, at least I'd thought so. Then you showed me such kindness." "Did you mean what you said last night, about being my friend?" I started to cry. "Yes, I did, Sam. I wish I'd known you earlier. Maybe you wouldn't have had to." Chris didn't finish, she also burst into tears and we hugged each other. June came back into the living room with the tea. "Good, I always feel better after a good cry. Now you are awake, Chris, I'll go and let you two have a good talk." "Girl to girl," June said. After June had left, I asked, "What did she mean, girl to girl?" "Well, Sam, with your long hair, slim body and longish fingernails, you do look like a girl. Even more so wearing my gym jams." "But I'm a man," I said. "Are you?" "Why did you want to kill yourself?" she asked. I told you why. "Tell me again." "Because my family has rejected me, because I've no friends, no job," I said. "That's not the whole reason, is it?" "Yes, it is." "Sam, if I gave you a choice, now, between wearing male or female clothes, which would you choose?" I stammered. "Sam, I know the answer. You told me last night that you copied your sister, read her magazines. You said you learned girl things." Chris paused. "So," I said. "Sam, that's the real problem, you don't know who you really are. Your body says male, and even that's confused. Your mind, well, I think your mind is unsure. Part of it wants to be female, another part wants to be male, and the rest is undecided. I'm not sure where you are going, Chris. You need to resolve that conflict, one way or another. If you don't, it will tear you apart and, who knows, the next time you try to kill yourself, you may succeed. And there will be a next time, Chris replied. How do I do that? I asked. Let me make a phone call. You go and get dressed. I went to the guest room and took my top off. Something was nagging me, something I'd forgotten. Shit, must have a wash, I thought. You forget these simple things when you haven't been able to do them for so long. I went to the bathroom and had a wash. I looked round for a deodorant and, finding a new one, used it. Back in the guest room I started to get dressed. Cotton knickers, pop socks, jeans and a t-shirt, they were a bit loose, but were okay. The shoes, flat-heel court shoes, were a little tight, but wearable. Chris, I said after walking into the living room, any chance of a bra? You want one? Chris asked, smiling. Yes. I'd feel happier wearing one. Do you want padding? No, I don't think so, I replied. Chris fetched me one and then went to get dressed. I removed my t-shirt and put the bra on, then put the t-shirt back on. I sat and waited for Chris to emerge from her bedroom. Just got to brush my hair, Chris said, after finally coming into the living room. Yours could do with brushing as well. She brushed her hair and then tossed the brush to me. I used your new deodorant, I hope you don't mind. I said while I brushed. Not at all, we girls always share things. I finished brushing and turned to look at Chris. You look really cute, I could go for you, Chris said. Yeah, right. I mean it. You really are cute. You are embarrassing me, I said. Come on, we've got to go. Where? I asked. I've arranged for some tests to be done. I want to know if your enforced diet has caused any damage, she answered. She dragged me out of her flat and into the car. We drove to a large private hospital and we reported to the reception desk. Chris spoke to the receptionist and we sat down. We waited for about 30 minutes and Chris's name was called. Following the nurse to a consulting room where we met a female doctor. That's all for now. See you in the next video. For more interesting stories, please subscribe to our channel, and for exclusive content, please join us on Patreon. Link in the comment.